for you all going into a runoff and voting for me. I also want to say something else. I think that this is a time where our nation is being divided, and we shouldn't be. We should be brought together because this is the greatest country in the world. And we, like the other man was saying about breadcrumbs, I don't think we should be fighting about breadcrumbs. I think we should be working to come together and work further to keep things good and keep peace. We're seeing situations where Christopher Columbus, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, all kinds of statues are being attacked. And it seems to be just an effort to take down history. And whether I see a statue that may be something that I would fully disagree with, like Adolf Hitler, maybe a statue of Satan himself, I would not want to say take it down. But again, it's so that I could tell my children and teach others about who these people are, what they did, and what they may be about. So as a congressional candidate, I just wanted to come forward and make a statement, and thank you all for hearing everyone in your community, and also let voters know where I stand on the matter, because I'm looking to work for everyone here, and I felt like it was important for you to hear me. So thank you very much.
Folks, that was Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is the Congresswoman for Georgia's 14th Congressional District. That is video that just resurfaced today from June 2020 at a Dalton City Council meeting, in which she made it clear that she's so desperate to maintain the images of Christopher Columbus that she's willing to let statues of Hitler remain up because she wants to be able to teach her kids the history. There's a lot in this video that I want to go through really quickly, but I just want you to see, like, Donald Trump and Republicans, this is what your stupidity has wrought. Like, she is the face of the Republican Party. Even today, Kevin McCarthy, the House Minority Leader, is trying to distance himself and the Republican Party from her ridiculousness, but she has more power in terms of the populace, the base of the Republican Party, than Kevin McCarthy. If you ask the base of the Republican Party who they support, Kevin McCarthy or Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're going to support Marjorie Taylor Greene, because you all have played around with this level of racism and that has been at the core of the Republican Party through dog whistles for a very long time. And then it culminated with the election of Donald Trump. And you all are all of you Republicans, I don't care if they're Marjorie Taylor Greene all the way to Lindsey Graham to Kevin McCarthy, you're so attached to Donald Trump's coattails that you're willing to allow Trumpism to continue. And Trumpism is exactly what got you Marjorie Taylor Greene. And she is so smart that she thinks that this speech, she went there as a congressional candidate to give this speech because she thought it was going to be magnanimous. First, she said that the country is divided and we need to be brought together. Well, what are the terms of bringing us together, Marjorie Taylor Greene? Is it that we have to now sit and not only listen to history as it's told by people who are drenched in white supremacy, such as yourself? Is that what togetherness is? And she said at the end that she wants to work for everyone. Who's everyone? Because you certainly don't want to work for someone like me who agrees that Christopher Columbus, considering what he did to the indigenous populations here in this country, is the last person who should have statues in this country, and that his statues should come down. Ask anyone in the native populations, in the indigenous populations of this country, right? Would they celebrate? Should anyone celebrate the person who committed genocide against your people? Because that's what a statue is, Marjorie. I understand that she doesn't understand this, that this might be above her cognitive capacity. But there's a difference between statues and having someone in a history book so that you can learn from it. Statues are a celebration. Statues are a commemoration. And she's so willing to go to support Christopher Columbus. And what she's not really saying here is that she's really talking about people from the Confederacy, leaders of the Confederacy, the traitorous and treacherous Confederacy that almost destroyed this country during the Civil War, because that's what she's really advocating for. But she can't really say that because that's just too clear, right? So she brought up Christopher Columbus, but she's so desperate to support this history as told, this fictitious history that's told about this country. She's so desperate to support it that she's saying, listen, no, let's keep up. Don't take down the posters, the statues of Adolf Hitler, because that's supposed to be some type of magnanimous way of saying that we want to make sure that everyone has space here so that we can learn the good and the bad from them. That's what she's saying. And this is what is at the core of the Republican Party. She is the face of the Republican Party. And really simply put, there is a problem in not only in this country, but with any powerful group, any group that is in power. The people who won the wars, they get to write the history. That's the general saying, right? But the truth is, if you want the real history, you have to listen to the people who were oppressed by these groups. If you want the real history of America, and this is what, before I even finish that sentence, this is one of the things they fear the most. And this is why Republicans and conservatives are so after critical race theory, because this is essentially what she's talking about here. She's talking about a historical perspective of this country that tells it not only from the lens of the people who won, but from the people who lost and the people who were oppressed. You can't get the truth about history unless you listen to both sides and hear the truth of what happened to the oppressed people. That's the way you get the real history of this country. And what they are fearful of more than anything else is allowing the history of America to be told through the lens of the people who were oppressed, enslaved, and the people who suffered genocide, the native populations. They don't want that told because it will require them to listen to the truth about this country. The oppressors never want the history to be told by the oppressed. The victims, the victimizers never want the history to be told by the victims, so on and so forth. But this is Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she is the face of the Republican Party. And she has more popularity in the Republican Party than all of the leaders currently. Do you think they're going to listen to Lindsey Graham or Marjorie Taylor Greene? Do you think the base of the Republican Party, 70% of whom still don't believe that Joe Biden won the election legitimately, do you think they're going to listen to Kevin McCarthy or Marjorie Taylor Greene? They probably don't even know who Kevin McCarthy is, but they know who Marjorie Taylor Greene is because she speaks exactly the way they want to speak. She speaks and reminds them exactly of Donald Trump. She is exactly what the Republican Party has become. Because what they did for years with dog whistles, all the way back since Richard Nixon, they've been playing this game, but quietly through dog whistles. Now, at this point, they're using bullhorns to say exactly what they've been saying all along, what they stand for. And it's not unity. It's not togetherness. It's unity around a white identity and a history of this country that never tells the truth about what this country did to the Native Americans, to African Americans, to enslaved people that were stolen from their lands and brought here to build this country. In fact, they don't even want to acknowledge that we built this country. And this is exactly what Marjorie Taylor Greene does for them. She is the new version of Trumpism. She is the continuation and the extension of Trumpism. And Republicans, you just have to deal with it.